Welcome, hunters, to the Hunters Hub episode 36. This is Fortuan talking here, and today we just have one guest, Mad Wolf. Hey.
Hey.
So, Toaster's off on a family vacation, and our other guest is a no-show at this point. So, just me and you.
That's well. Hopefully he'll be able to join us.
Yeah, we'll splice him in.
Yeah, somehow.
If he does show up. But today we're going to be talking about the ATV, or the Arc-Tempered Vaal. Before we get into that, though, we've already been introduced to you, Mad, but what have you done in Monster Hunter since we last talked? And it's not been that long. But...
Yeah, well, just basically, since I'm a heavy bowgun user and a longsword user, I've been farming to get all the materials that I need to upgrade everything. Been trying to upgrade my armor. I recently unlocked the augmentation.
Okay.
And that took forever because I kept fighting the freaking pony from hell, Kieran, and with no luck whatsoever. No gem that would unlock the augmentation. And then, and I was fighting him as a tempered. I did him as a tempered. I fought him once as the what is it, the new version, the arc, yeah, the arc, and no luck. And then I fought Beetlejuice in a normal fight, and I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got it, and I was like, what? All this time, and going through hell fighting this freaking pony, and I fought Beetlejuice just once, and I get it. And but yeah, so I was excited, and I was like, yes, now I can go in and upgrade some gear and do some augmentations, and lo and behold, I need more gems, more special gems to be able to augment my heavy bowguns, because apparently they have the melee weapon or the sword crystals.
Right.
Or gems, and if you want to augment your weapons, your ranged weapons, you need to find a ranged weapon jewel. So I've been trying to do that since, with no luck. So today I just said, all right, well, screw it. I'll just augment my my thunder sword and see how that works. And I've been continuing on with the grinding of things, trying to get gems and whatnot, and yeah, and just trying to build the. Right now, I was working with the Vaal armor, because apparently I found that there's a sort of a god mode where if you put the right jewels and everything in there, you're fighting normal monsters, not the tempered ones, but the normal ones.
Sure.
You will not die. They can just beat the crap out of you, and they'll get bored and run away. So yeah. So
I'm not gonna lie, that's the build I've been using since
hour
7.
Wow. Nice. Yeah.
And I'm at 575 now hours.
Wow. Yeah, I'm close. I'm up there as well. I think I'm up there at 5 or 6. So I've been playing the crap out of this game. Like I said in last time I was here, I had bought God of War, and I played a little bit of it, but I'm so drawn to Monster Hunter, I cannot stop playing it. I guess I'm addicted.
Yeah, I mean, for a good 4 months, that was literally the only game I played.
Oh yeah, I mean, way back when. When I was playing Star Trek Online, I played that game for 5 years straight, and I didn't play anything else but that game. And, all my friends were like, "Come on, man, when are you gonna leave that game? Come play this game, or, join us here and join us there." I was like, "Nah. I'm just gonna, I gotta do the next event, or there would be
Right.
a new mission or something, and I just had to play it. And eventually I got, well, I wouldn't say burnt out, but things changed to the point
Mm-hmm.
where it wasn't the same anymore. And the guild that I was in, they fell apart. So eventually I moved on.
Yeah,
And
that's normal.
yeah, it happens. It happens. So yeah, I mean, so usually when I really get into a game, I'm dedicated to it for a pretty long time.
I like to think I am, but I'm really not. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go hard into this game, and I normally put it down within a month. Aside from Monster Hunter,
Mm.
like Destiny, I played the crap out of Destiny 1. I finished it in a month. I was done.
Wow.
And I did the same thing with Destiny 2. I bought all the DLC and everything. Haven't touched it since I played it for 1 month. I really regret buying Destiny 2. I don't know why I thought I was going to be any different.
Yeah, I had a lot of my friends were trying to get me to play Destiny 1, and then when I was like, all right, well, you go through this event or quest or whatever, and you get the weapons and you make them super badass, and then on the next patch they're obsolete. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, well, that kind of sucks. You go through all the trouble. Granted, there's a lot of games that do that, but the way they were explaining it to me, like, yeah, we had to get together, we had to go through all this, and we had to schedule times, and then when those gold weapons did drop, and then we built them up, and we did all this, and then we had to grind some more just to get stuff, and then on the next patch they were obsolete. I was like, well, yeah, that kind of sucks. That defeats the purpose of going through all this hassle in the first place. I see if
Right.
there wasn't any hassle. I see if you just played it, and then a couple of months from now, whatever, they bring out a new patch. Well, here's a new type of weapon that you can get. Well, okay, no big deal. You go grind it, you get it, and call it a day, right? But if you have to go through
Right.
all this preparation and going through all this and then making sure everybody is there to play, and then you go through all that and then just got to do it all over again, yeah, that turned me off.
Right.
And then when they bought Destiny 2, they were all like, "Oh, this sucks! I can't believe this!" and blah blah blah. And I was like, "Well, I'm glad I never got into that game."
Oops. I should really put my phone on vibrate when I'm recording, huh?
Uh-oh.
Anyways, yeah, it's the online gaming community is so weird sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, which brings me back to one of the old episodes that I was listening
Um,
to. I forgot. I think it was 24 or 23. When you were asking
mhm.
the question, you were asking everybody that because you were concerned that Monster Hunter right now is everybody's talking about it and people are playing it and whatnot. And one of your concerns was that down the line or the following week that everybody was going to forget about it and and nobody was going to talk about Monster Hunter anymore, you know,
Mhm.
and
I remember that.
yeah, and people were saying, well, the guests are responding well, this it happens, right? Like every game, you have
Right.
your good, it comes out and it's super popular, and everybody's doing their thing, and then eventually it dies out. But I guess the good thing is if they keep bringing sequels out for it and they keep making it better than the last incarnation, then that game continues to live and it continues to be talked about.
Right.
Kind of like WoW. You know, uh, I personally, out of all the MMOs I played, I don't see how people are drawn to that game. But some people, I guess, like the story that comes with it. Because graphically, it's not the prettiest game out there. And some of the content, you do have to pay, I guess. And
Right.
but people still talk about that game like if it just came out, or at least the people that I talk to, at least.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so
It's not gone completely out of the spotlight yet, but it has gone out of the spotlight for like the general gaming community for the most part. There's when news comes by, they're like, oh yeah, Monster Hunter got an update, but like all the other podcasts, it's like that. It's just a footnote again.
Yeah,
So it kind of happened what I was afraid of already.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, they are, and streamers. When the game first came out, they were hardcore on it. A lot of them, all they did was just finish the main story, and that's it. They dropped the game like no tomorrow, and they just moved on to something else. But there are dedicated streamers out there who are hardcore into the game, and that's all they play, which is great for me because I don't really I play online, and granted I play with some of my friends here and there, but the majority of the time I'm solo. So to find a streamer or a community that's dedicated to Monster Hunter, it's like finding that that monster gem that you've been looking for.
I was going to say finding your unicorn, but
that too.
The gem works too. Much more appropriate in analogy.
Oh yeah.
So for me, most people have heard this, but I'll reiterate for you. I finished Crown Hunting, and then I finished Crown Hunting Lunastra.
Mm-hmm.
And Crown Hunting Lunastra, I do believe, was over 100.
Wow.
I want to say it was like 112 or something like that, but I'm not exactly sure. It's been a little while. And I've kind of put the game down since, and that was a couple weeks ago. I've had a lot of other things going on. Some of which was playing Hollow Knight on my Switch.
Oh.
And now Mario Aces. Mario Tennis Aces.
Uh-oh.
But I'm kind of taking a step back because I went so hardcore on the game for a good 5 months. That's all I played, and it was just that constantly. So I'm taking a step back until basically the Behemoth comes out later this summer.
Yeah.
And going to crown hunt for that if it has crowns, I guess. I don't know if it will.
I've been running into crowns just, randomly. I've been getting a lot of small crowns, which is great, I guess. I mean, I'm not trying to crown hunt, not by any means, because I know that's another grind in and itself, Go in thinking it's going to be that one monster or that one size, and it's, one or the other. So I've been just, I guess with all my constant grinding of trying to get those parts and gems and materials, I come across it at the end. It's like, oh, you got a gold crown for the smallest one or the largest one. So yeah, it's been a random thing for me, unwittingly, of course, but yeah.
Yeah. For me, when I got my Lunastra gold crown, I got the small crown first, and then I got the gold crown, and it wasn't like I didn't jump out of my seat and I was just like, okay, I can put this down, because I got done with the crown hunting and I had 1 day off, and then Lunastra came out. 1 day off, and I was like, I can finally lay this to rest. I can just
new monster.
And then they're like, Behemoth is coming out. I'm like, I'm okay with it coming out later. I need a break. So, man. but I am looking forward to it. I have been playing somewhat because I did do arc tempered stuff, and that's kind of what we're talking about today is the arc tempered Vaal Hazak,
or Van Halen, as I like to call him.
I mean, yeah, it's a good band.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's the band. I was like, please don't tell me that's the singer's name.
No. No. I also have my own, because sometimes I can't remember the names. I'm horrible with names. So it's like, for example, when I first started and they were telling me I was fighting Jaggeris, and everybody's like, yeah, it's a great Jaggeris. And I was like, Jaggy who? Oh, great. Oh, he's great, and he's a Jaggeris. Okay. So, Jaggy, or as I sometimes call him, Jaggeris Christ.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, you can't call him the Great Jaggy because the Great Jaggy is actually another monster.
Oh, is he? Oh God.
Yeah, it's a third. So there's always been sort of like the raptor types, and well, not always. There's not a lot of raptor types in Monster Hunter World, but like Velociraptor type, and that was the Velocidrome, the Gendrome, and the Iodrome. But then the third generation they changed it up, and one of them was the Great Jaggy, and then there's the Great Boggy, and then there's the Great Roggy, and like the Great Jaggy is like, yeah, it's an actual name. So like I was very confused when they said the Jagras because I was like, that's very close to the Great Jaggy. But hey, they're both the Great Jaggy and the Great Jagras are sort of like the first boss monsters you'll fight in the games. So, and there's a lot of parallels between Monster Hunter Tri and Monster Hunter World. They both had the lowest monster counts. They both really changed up the formula from what it was previously, and both don't have G rank and like all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of parallels between the start of the third gen and the start of the fifth gen, for sure. But so back to Arc Tempered. How many Arc Tempered Vaal have you fought or succeeded, or like what's your status with ATV?
Okay, so far, I fought him 5 times already.
Okay.
Didn't win not one. Everybody died, or I died.
Yeah.
I guess this is why a lot of people are playing it by themselves. Because I noticed that every time you look in a thing, it's one person playing it. But yeah, I'm definitely trying to play with him because I want the updated armor, so I could add it to my older Van Halen armor. So yeah, so I'm still work in progress.
So for me, I've played it twice. I triple carded the first time. Both were solo. And I realized something about when I triple carded that breath weapon that he does, the miasma spray, as I'll call it. It's a one-hit KO for me.
Oh yeah.
And now I'm sure there's some sort of build out there that can survive this, but I am using Vaal Hazak armor, fully maxed out, and Devil Joe Helm and Lunastra Greaves is my normal build.
Okay.
I have health boost, level 3, so all the way, and I also had the health boost from eating, and I have a fairly high defense. It's like 450 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing still one-shot me every time that miasma spray hit me. I managed to do it the second time with no carts, but it took me 27 minutes, so that was a long fight. And I actually had to go back and restock on mega potions. I think I ended up using 18 in total. Like, it was not fun because the miasma clouds hurt you so much when you don't have a mantle on.
Yeah.
So I ended up, trying to keep myself topped off, and it was a rough fight. I finally beat him, and then I went to go look at the armors, and like in my opinion, they suck.
Do they?
The skills on them, it's like a lot of them have a lot of dragon attack, and I just don't care about dragon attack. I can't.
Yeah.
It's like like having an elemental build is not something for a longsword. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. It's fine if it's dual blades or something like that, but yeah, it's just like, oh my gosh, I was so excited to replace my Vaal set, because I wear the hands, chest, and waist of Vaal. And I looked at it and I was like, okay, I guess I can use the chest and the waist.
Okay.
And that's about it, because I'm not touching those gloves. The gloves just straight up dragon attack with slots. And I'm like, no, no, I'm not doing that. It's just the armors. I guess they're not terrible, but they're not what I was looking for. If that makes sense.
Right.
It's like I didn't see a lot of peak performance. Like it could have been like one of the pieces. Like here's all your peak performance. That would have been cool, but no.
No, for me, the only part that's different is the helmet. I'm using the Nergigante B helmet.
Okay.
Yeah, and so there's another part. Well, there's only as a replacement because the headpiece that I have to get, I guess you have to go into the arena and do the challenges to open up that particular.
Are you talking about the eye patch?
No, not the eye patch. It's like a crown. When I saw it, it looked like a little head crown thing.
Okay.
So yeah, I have to go into the arena and use the weapons that they give me, and then beat all of them for me to open up those particular armor sets.
Yeah.
I think they're called guild armor or something like that. Yeah, I'm not familiar. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, so I have to go through those just to get that particular helmet, and the set will be complete. And of course, get the right crystals or jewels to keep giving me health and regenerating me.
Yeah, my brother, he was visiting Saturday. This is Monday. For context, he played a lot of Monster Hunter with me over the years, and he played World with me probably up until HR 70, and then he sort of dropped out. And he hasn't touched the game since, so he dropped out before Devil Joe. So no new monsters for him.
Oh.
But he was talking. I was showing him off some of the build stuff that with the new Arc Tempered, because he was asking about it, and he was very surprised because my build, I have Mind's Eye. I have Mind's Eye on my build. And he was like, "How did you get that?" I was like, "Oh, it's just a jewel." He's like, "What do you mean it's just a jewel?" It's like, "Yeah, it's still level 2 jewel." And he's like, "No way." And I was like, "Yeah, it's just level 2 jewel. I should just have Mind's Eye now." And he's like, "Wow, that's like insanely insanely." And I was showing off the Lunastra weapons because the Lunastra Xenojiva melee gives you, the halves sharpness thing, which is like the 3 set piece bonus for Xenojiva.
Right.
So it was like, yeah, it kind of renders that whole armor useless in one weapon.
Wow.
And then he was like, "Wow, he was like, this is awesome." Like, and I was like, "Well, are you gonna play again?" He's like, "No."
Nice. I guess they have to come up with something really good to impress him, right? So he can be impressed to play it again.
Yeah, it seems that way. Seems that way for sure. He's kind of particular about that kind of stuff, but he's always not been as much into Monster Hunter as me. Like, I kind of hogged it because we had to share a PS2 back in the day, and I kind of hogged it.
Oh, okay. So I guess him watching you play it, and he was like, "Well, let me try this, see what's going on here."
Yeah, that's kind of how it went. We did end up playing together a lot over the years. I think Freedom Unite is where we played the most together, and we both, I'm pretty sure, together clocked in over 500 hours in that game.
So there's like what, 5? I mean, not 5. 10. There's like 10 Monster Hunter games altogether.
Oh man, you're gonna make me count. Let me think. We're gonna talk about U.S. releases because there's a couple in there that we never saw. But as far as U.S. releases, we got Monster Hunter on PS2. We got Monster Hunter Freedom, which is like Monster Hunter G on PSP. We got Freedom 2. Then we got Freedom Unite. Then we got Try. Then we got 3U. Then we got 4U, Generations, and then we're getting Double Cross and now World. So it is 10.
Wow.
And that doesn't include Monster Hunter Stories on 3DS.
Wow.
Which is an offshoot. So yeah, there's been a lot of games, but then like we've also missed a ton too. Like there's at least 15 releases of Monster Hunter Frontier. Um, and those hit PlayStation 3 and no, maybe they didn't. I think they were exclusively on Xbox 360 in an attempt to make the Xbox not fail super hard in Japan. It still failed super hard, but because you can play Frontier on PC.
Microsoft.
Yeah. So like, there's been a lot of games. There's like I said, Frontier. There's Monster Hunter Online. There's we didn't get DOS, which was the PS2 version of Monster Hunter 2.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get 4, so we got 4U, but not 4. And we didn't get something else. I can't remember. For a time, we didn't get Double Cross, but we're getting it now. So yeah, there's just like a lot of stuff and a lot of cool monsters we missed out on, like Akura Vishima, which is a giant crystal scorpion. If that sounds awesome to you.
Yeah.
Aspenis, which is a flying wyvern that shoots poison fireballs.
I'm surprised that this game isn't like an MMO. You know, you're just
that's what Frontier is.
Is it?
Frontier is
okay.
an MMO version of the game, sort of. It's still got the hub towns, but the hub towns hold a lot more people at once, and you can go on like there's actually a raid boss.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the name of it. It starts with an R, but it's a giant snake. It's not to be confused with Delameter. It's like a giant 2-tusked snake, and I think it's 16 hunters fighting it, or 16 or 8. It's a couple squads.
Wow.
And you should look it up one time. It's intense.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, that's again, I'm surprised it's not a full-blown MMO where, people from, it's not just U.S. or whatever, kind of like what World is right now.
Right.
You get people, they all come in, they go into a hub town or whatever, and you just randomly roam the forest or wherever, and you find a monster. Oh, there it is! I found them. Now I'm gonna kill it and get the gear or the materials to make this armor or whatever. And then if you have to fight like an elder dragon or something, then everybody had to get together. 8 or 16 people to fight it.
Yeah, it's a good idea, and a lot of people were pushing for that before World, but I think they're going to stick with the mission structure. Because I think that's how the game's designed to work.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
less maintenance.
Yeah. And, as far as like map design and all that kind of stuff, like I'm sure you could just open up the maps and say, hey, you're just going to have to do a loading screen between the desert and the forest. But, like I'm sure that there's a lot more to it than just saying like, hey, let's let the monsters just roam around. Because like, how do you do like a respawn rate and like that kind of stuff? It's
a
lot of complications to add in a very complicated game.
Yeah, you would have to have instances, and that's a crap ton more servers that you have to maintain. Because if you can't find it in one instance, then you'll jump into another. A game called Terra is notorious for that because they have world bosses that come out. They spawn every now and then. And so people, they all jump to one instance, and if they don't find it there, they all migrate to another instance. It's just, constantly. And then when you do find it, there's so many people fighting it that if you have a low-end computer or your internet is not all that, yeah, you're screwed. Because it's just gonna be like a frozen screen. You're gonna see the monster, you're gonna see the people, and everything's gonna freeze, and then like a minute later you're dead, and then the event is over. you couldn't collect the materials that dropped. So
right.
yeah, I can see that being a nightmare for Monster Hunter.
Yeah, there's a lot of a lot of the game is designed to work how it is, and they've come a long way since the first days for sure. Oh my gosh, for sure. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but imagine you want to go mining in the original Monster Hunter versus now. So now you run up to a node. The bugs tell you where the node is, and you don't always have an idea of what you're going to get out of the node, but like you go in there, you chip it off a couple times, and you're done. Like it's like maybe a 10-second process to get a whole node.
Right.
In the original Monster Hunter, it was a crack in the wall, sort of like a texture difference.
Okay.
And there wasn't a prompt to say like, hey, there's anything here. There wasn't any bugs to take you there. There wasn't an icon above your head like in later versions of the game that says, hey, there's something here. It's literally you had to walk up to a spot that may have looked like a crack and then select your pickaxe and use your pickaxe, not just hit tap A on the node. You had to actually select your pickaxe and use it like you would a potion.
Wow. Wow. And and I'm hoping the pickaxe didn't like wear down where you had to buy another one, or
no, they did.
Or
They
did?
totally did. The old pickaxe may break after 3 hits normally, and the iron pickaxe would break. I mean, it would be a little more reliable. And then I don't think the original one had the golden pickaxes that last a long time. That came later, I think. So it's like you constantly, like as just part of your supply, you would just have to resupply on bug nets and pickaxes and stuff all the time. It was a nightmare. But that was what we knew back in the day, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. But going back, that's why you can't hardly go back to a previous Monster Hunter, because the quality of life changes are immense.
Right. Wow.
There's a lot to it. You couldn't even hold down, it would be A at the time. You couldn't even hold that button down. It would be circled now on the PlayStation.
Right.
You had to tap it. And then you'd wait for the animation to finish, and then you tap it. And you wait for the animation to finish, and you tap it. Same thing with carving. Carving was the same way.
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah, you just sit there mashing A. I keep saying A because it was the 3DS days is what I'm thinking, but this is PS2, so it would be circle.
Right.
It's just... Yeah, it's much different now. So, long tangent aside, how do you enjoy the Arc-Tempered fight?
Well, hell, it definitely keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Because one tiny mistake and poof, you're gone. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's that's why I kind of had to pull out my longsword. I had to put away the bow gun. Because I was doing the job mainly, but it got down to a point where I was trying to put him to sleep. Put him to
Right.
sleep, and then hopefully the other people wouldn't like hit him, or anything else would come in and hit it where it would wake it up, so that I can walk up to it and put my barrels on, and by his face or whatever, and then just use the wearing ammo, and then just try to blow a hole in his face. but yeah, it's and it just got to the point where it just got a little bit frustrating, because people would see, oh, he's about to fall asleep, but they just kept hitting him, and he would just wake back up, and it was just like, well, there goes all my sleep ammo, and I either go back and replenish, or try to fight it, keep going.
Yeah, and it's going to get harder to put him to sleep now, too.
Yep, because he's
Yeah.
already immune to it, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, aside from the frustrations of constantly carting and wiping out, that aside, I mean, I'm kind of glad. I'm glad that they're putting out harder monsters, or harder versions of those monsters. It's granted, it's nothing. It's not giving us anything new, but it's
not really.
It's something to keep us busy,
There is an incentive to it.
Yeah.
I agree. There's definitely something to it, And I was excited to figure out what the armors did. I was just kind of disappointed when I did figure it out.
The stats.
Especially the gloves. I hate the gloves. It's like 3 dragon attack, and I think it's 3 level 1 gem slots.
Mm-hmm.
And like the gem slots are fine, right? But like the 3 dragon attack, I'm like, why would I even wear these? Like, unless I'm going for like a dragon attack build or something, but I'm not. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, luckily they have enough slots where you can have a setup that if you're going for the particular dragon, then I guess you can, have a particular dragon build just for that monster or whatever. Kind of like the
Yeah.
pony, like Kieran. There's a lot of people that have a thunder resistance build, and there's one out there that he was fighting a tempered Kieran, and he was just he knocked him down, but he was just standing there. So basically his thing was, well, imagine if you were rolling around and dodging and trying to get out of its way, and then if you got a good chance you'll take a potion and you're fully replenished.
Right. Yeah. It's a it's like a really, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. It's really strange to me to be building for specific monsters anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do that, but like I understand why Kieran, because Kieran is unique on so powerful of the elemental moves, per se. But like even then, like I still use my same armor against Kieran. I just know how to fight him well enough that it's just like, it's not like I don't get hit, but I also don't die from the lightning either. So
I wish I could be at that point, man. It's just like the mechanics in this game. It's just like that's what I love about. The part of the reason why I love this game so much is like the mechanics that they built, where if it knows that, okay, he's if I hit him, he's gonna go down in health, and then he's gonna have to stop. It kind of like a mosquito bite, right? Mosquito bites
Right.
you're gonna scratch eventually, and so you stop to replenish, and then that's when he sees his window of opportunity. It's like, yes, now you're mine, and next thing you know, you're carding.
Yeah. It's been fun doing these arc tempered stuff, but at the same time it's so stressful, especially Kieran.
Yeah.
Like it's just like I don't want to deal with this, like.
But you have to, you must.
I mean, I did it once for each, and I was done for each because I was like, I don't really need these armors. So like, I don't really have like a lot of hope for like Teostra and Kushala having armors that are going to be like wow me, because meh, like unless like the helm is super awesome for Kushala, I'm not going to care, because my original build that did Vaal was like the one I used for maybe 300 of my 500 hours was 3 pieces of Vaal, which was the head, the gloves, and the waist, with 2 pieces of Kushala, which was the chest and the legs, for handicraft and evade distance. And if there's like a decent handicraft like on another piece, I would probably use that. But that's what I was hoping with Vaal. It was like, maybe this can open up some more options so I can sort of play with the builds a bunch. And a lot of the ones that was like, yeah, that looks cool. Why is there dragon attack here? Like, okay, well, I can't use that piece. Oh, okay, well, I can't use that piece. I think 3 of them have dragon attack on them. And it's just like, yeah, I don't want to use that. It's not, that's not what I'm going to be doing.
I was thinking, I had this little analogy in my head, but then again, that's me when I look at things. It's like, okay, you have the armors, like, okay, like good example, the Van Halen, right? He's the first incarnation, or the high end. He's all about health. right? So
Yeah.
you're just regenerating yourself. So with this new version, I guess they made a version of, well, let's make it dragon attack. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
assume that every monster from now on, when they have the arch version, it's gonna be a different version than what it is. So if that monster or that armor set was all about dragon attack per se, they're gonna make it fire, or they're gonna make it just standard.
Right. Yeah, I could see that doing with Teostra. It's like here's a bunch of fire attack, and Kushala is like here's a bunch of ice attack. I guess Kushala used to have ice, but he doesn't now. It's so
I,
I don't
I'm gonna
I don't
assume
know.
they do that, or they're gonna do that because I'm sure a lot of people were probably like, "Oh man, I love this armor set, but I wish it would have these stats on it instead of these."
Right.
So I'm sure that's what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see because we haven't heard plans for the next one. We know that Val is going to be ending. What? It's not this Thursday. It's next Thursday,
Next
right?
Thursday, I believe.
Yeah, so I might try it a couple more times and try to play with my build a bit, but I don't know. I don't feel super motivated to do so. So
If
we'll
anything, I
see.
see it as a training session, to sharpen my
Right.
skills on evading and knowing his moves. You know, um, granted they're probably not all that different, but still, I mean, for me at least, I see it as a training session. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
harder. I have to be on my toes. I have to make sure that an attack that would normally just bring my health down to halfway or a little bit now can one shot me.
Yeah.
So I mean that's how I see it. And that's what I've been doing.
Hmm? I mean, it's not a bad way to look at it, but at this point, I don't know. I'm past the point for me for training.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you've been with the game, with the franchise since the beginning. For me,
Right.
this is my first incarnation of the game, so
No, and
it's
that's a valid way to look at it. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like I'm sure when the PC version comes out, everything is going to be different to some degree. Well, at least the controller wise,
Right.
but still, I mean, it's something to prepare me for when it does come out, and.
I'm still debating whether I want to get the PC version or not. Because, like, do I really want to sink another 500 hours into the same game
Well, I
to
mean,
just basically
it,
redo it?
it depends on what they have for it. I mean, it's like we were discussing the last time I was here. If they have, if it would be pointless for them to bring out the same incarnation of the game with the same everything.
Yeah,
Because
but I mean, it's Capcom, and I wouldn't put it past them.
yeah, I mean, well, because I'm saying that because at that point, it's like I see if they brought it out along with the Xbox and PlayStation versions.
Yeah.
I can see that. Fine. Okay, it's the same incarnation, but it's your choice. You want Xbox, PC, or PlayStation. But if you're going to bring out the console versions first and then make people wait, or the PC people wait until almost a year, and then to bring out the same materials, the same everything, is kind of foolish, in my opinion. Because
Well,
people are going to be like, well, why am I going to buy a PC version? Why am I going to buy the PC version if it's the same thing and it's the same content, the same everything? There's nothing new or special about it. I mean, why am I going to dish out another $60 or whatever? It,
well, you do have a solid point, but there's a great counterpoint to that. You know what that is?
hmm.
Skyrim.
Ah,
How many times
Skyrim.
has that been sold on different systems with like I don't know. The last time it was just updated graphics, right?
Right. Yeah, yeah.
It's like, okay. I mean, they've added small stuff here and there. So I don't know. I know that one of the things is that they definitely wanted to do it in house. They didn't want to siphon off the PC build.
Hmm.
So That's part of the reason why it's, taken so long. But, well, for me, I think that's a good wrap. It would be an early episode, but I don't really have much else to say about ATV. Do you?
No, I'm like I said, work in progress. I mean, I'm still trying to do my thing, and hopefully I'll beat it, and at least beat it where I can say, well, it's another notch on my sword or whatever, and
Right.
I beat it, and I'm moving on to the next one.
Alrighty. Well, we'll just go ahead and sign it off then, if that's okay.
Yeah. All right.
Alrighty, hunters. Thank you for joining us. This is Fortuan, and we'll do real quick thanks to Wolfie Melon for the music. You can find her on Twitter and YouTube. Thanks to artist Jeremy Clark for the logo. And I will see you guys next quest. And on that quest, where we're going to find you, Mad?
You can find me on Twitter at madwolf_7. That's the number 7.
Awesome. I don't know. Did you see that Twitter got hacked or something while we've been recording?
Did it?
Something like that. That's actually why Virtue didn't show up.
Oh.
He just messaged me.